Hello everybody and welcome to Toyah at Home. Today I'm going to do a reaction to the official video of Brave New World. It was such a fun video to shoot, and back in the day we used to shoot over 24 hours. This was the most inexpensive way to get everything in the can and done. They were long, sometimes exhausting days, but they never ever cease to be exhilarating. Now, this is obviously to celebrate the release of this beautiful single, Brave New World, that came out a couple of weeks ago in special vinyl. It completely sold out within a day. So thank you so much. That's now officially a collector's piece. But it's very, very popular, which is why I'm going to be looking at the video again today. Now, the title to Brave New World came to me when I was lucky enough to play Miranda in Derek Jarman's The Tempest, the movie. I was nominated for Best Newcomer Actress by the Evening Standard Awards for this. It was a very special project. It was filmed near Coventry at Stoneleigh Abbey throughout the winter of 1979, I think it was. I don't think it was 1980. It was freezing, but I fell in love with this speech that the Miranda gave when she sees Ferdinand and she says, "Oh, brave new world that has such spirits within it." It was such a powerful line, brave new world. It meant new beginnings. It meant changes, accepting change, accepting moving on. I mean, it encompassed everything that I had felt at that time, and ever since I felt brave new world. It says trust the future to me, and the song, I've just fallen in love with it all over again 40 years on. So when I did The Tempest, at the end of the shoot, Derek Jarman gave me a complete works of Shakespeare in this what has become very battered box because I've had so many moves. And this has been my go-to version of Shakespeare because I have, since doing Miranda, I've done Taming of the Shrew, which I toured and absolutely love playing Kate. I've done Much Ado About Nothing at Ludlow Castle. I've also done Midsummer Night's Dream twice, playing Puck and Titania and Hermia. That's 3 times. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So this is the book I have always returned to learn my lines whenever I do Shakespeare. And there will be other times that I play Shakespeare as well. I love having this book. I remember Derek Jarman handing it to me. He was such a generous man. He was a generous letter writer. His letters were beautiful. His writing was gorgeous, and he always embossed his letter with either artwork or pieces of gold leaf. Everything he did had such style and finesse to it. So I remain the very proud owner of this. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm reacting to this amazing video. Now, many of you who've seen me before probably know the story of making Brave New World. It was an adventure. I wanted to be seen coming out of the sea as a changeling child. I wanted to be coming out of the sea completely dry, so there was something supernatural about me. We used a sky synthesizer which turned the sky black, which I first saw when David Bowie used this technology on Ashes to Ashes, one of the most influential videos in my life. So to get this shot on Hastings Beach, I believe it was the 9th of April, my makeup went on at midnight in London, then we drove down to Hastings, set up all the cameras as the sun came up, and around 7 in the morning, I was walking backwards into the sea. The film would then be reversed and played in reverse, so I was completely dry. We then drove to Wandsworth Studios. These were the studios that a decade later I'd be doing Ready Steady Cook in. For this shot with the little bunnies and the water, this is the most expensive scene in the video. We had to build this island, the water, into the studios. And the whole video cost £32 £1,000. One of the most expensive videos to be made at that time in 1982. Then from 1 o'clock till 2 o'clock, I hired Battersea Power Station for that hour because I wanted to be seen riding on a white horse through a dystopian landscape. Now, by this time, I'm slightly inebriated because it had already been quite a long day. I hadn't eaten. I never ate in the daytime in those days. And someone, to warm me up after being on Hastings Beach, which was quite frankly freezing, gave me some brandy to drink. So by the time I'm on this horse, and I think I'd only ever been on a horse twice in my life, possibly never at this point, I really was hanging on for dear life, and they got the horse to move that quickly by not feeding it for 12 hours and showing it a bale of hay about 500 yards away. But the shots are beautiful. No health and safety back then. You just were stuck on a horse, and the cameraman was filming through the sunroof of his car on I think a 36mm camera. I mean, it was massive, absolutely massive. Then we moved back into the Wandsworth studio where these sets were built, and the whole theme is kind of, I'm being tortured. I'm some rebel that's been caught, arrested, and just being tortured. And I think the idea was that my heart was being tortured. I was being brokenhearted. Love was making me move on, making me want to change the whole of my life and escape. Now I'm back on that scene now where I'm on the island disappearing. We cut into this dystopian kind of street where I am walking down the street and I find a tiny little version of me. Can you believe there's anyone in the world smaller than me? This child who kind of saves me and points me back to the sea and says, go back to where you come from, where you came from. Now, all that kind of structure you see around me as I walk into the sea, that's superimposed. That's not computer graphics. That would have literally been done as animation graphics back then, because we didn't quite have the technology, the computer technology that we know today. And that was it. That was the end. The changeling comes out of the sea and goes back to the sea. I hope you enjoyed that, everybody. We're going to do more reactions over the coming month to your favourite tracks. Tonight we have an upbeat moments with Toyah and Robert, and tomorrow we have a very crazy Sunday lunch. Good to talk to you. See you out there. Lots of love from Toyah. Mwah.